What up, YouTube? Welcome back to Mitchy Vibes. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Angel's Landing. Angel's Landing is a beautiful hike. It's epic, but it's also dangerous. This hike is located in Zion National Park. Very well hiked, very popular park, especially in recent years. And we'll kind of get over to why it's so dangerous towards the end of the video. All right, but first, let's go over difficulty level. Difficulty level for this distance, 4.4 mile out and back hike. I give that a 5. Pretty average, if you ask me. Elevation change, 1,600 foot elevation change. I'm going to give that one an 8. The reason why I give it an 8 is because it's like within such a short distance. So you're basically fucking climbing upstairs like the whole time, all right? To put it plainly. Terrain-wise, 2/3 of it is paved. Depending on when you go, you might miss the heat, but we went in July with peak temperatures being 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which is flipping hot. Even with all that aside, I have to give this one a 10. And the biggest reason is because there has been 17 confirmed deaths on this trail. So because of the high mortality rate on this, compared to like hikes across America, I'm gonna have to give this one a 10 because of the deaths and because of the heat. All right. In total, the average difficulty level for this hike will be an 8, and I think that is fair if you do your research and prep. I feel like if you don't do any prep for this, the difficulty level could easily be a 10. First things first, guys, get a permit. You cannot hike that final danger zone like portion, the most important portion to hike through. You cannot hike through it without a permit. I'm not going to go over how to get a permit because you can just click the link below, which is a national park government website, which tells you how to get a permit. So they do a great job about it. I'm not going to do it. So if you do not know how to get a permit for a national park, just hit the link below and follow the video. Okay. The next thing to prep is physical. So as I kind of mentioned before, it's pretty steep. It's basically just climbing up a mountain. So you have to be physically strong and have endurance to make it up. So keep that in mind when you are training for this. If you do any training. Some people don't and they're fine, but those people are usually in pretty good shape, okay? 2 things to watch out for with the weather. Super, super fucking hot and flooding, okay? And if you are not sure, even when you do go and you plan everything out and like you're ready to go, but you're not sure because of the weather, just go ask the rangers at the visitor center and they'll help you out, all right? Part 1 of the hike. Super simple, super easy. My number one takeaway from your first part of the hike is to take the earliest fucking bus, okay? Take the earliest bus. That's kind of 2 birds, 1 stone. You are going to experience less people, so less crowds, less chances of someone pushing you off the fucking trail, okay? The second thing is you want to beat the heat. We were up and down off that fucking mountain in, I don't know, before lunchtime, right? Part 2. Part 2 is basically just the grueling hike up the mountain, to put it plainly, all right? So there's switchbacks. When the sun comes up, it just starts heating up like crazy. So it's hot and everything's going uphill. And honestly, I sound like a little bitch right now. It should be bitchy vibes. This whole part of the section of this trail is just you making it up the mountain, okay? That is something that is pretty self-explanatory and pretty basic. It's just kind of grueling. That's all. What up, guys? Welcome to part 3 of Angel's Landing hike. As you can see, I'm wearing a different shirt, different lighting, whatever. Long story short, I didn't feel like editing all my blabbering that I was doing in my first take, so I'm making a second video to finish out this hike, all right? So part 3 of Angel's Landing hike, I describe it as a danger zone because it is dangerous. This is where I would assume people have died. I can see it being dangerous for a few reasons. One, obviously being someone who's super scared, right? Who's got that extreme fear of heights. I experienced this one young girl and her boyfriend. The chick, she was took her like an hour and a half just to get out to the Angel's Landing point, about an hour and a half, because we passed her, hung out, and came back, and she was barely getting there. And we were kind of chilling out there for a hot minute. So that's one thing that I feel like could be dangerous if you freeze up at a wrong time, you slip because you're scared, that kind of thing, or you pull someone down. You know, there's another problem. I feel like people being in, you know, each other's way, so to speak. And then the other thing is to be overconfident, like kind of like what I was doing. Unfortunately, I was low-key running it at certain points. I was climbing, going left and right, and not just going to the end. I was kind of doing my own thing. My cousin, luckily, he was there to kind of rein me in a little bit. He kind of like grabbed me and said like, bro, like slow the fuck down kind of thing. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. So you don't want to be a dumbass like me and go crazy, you know, because of the adrenaline, because of where you're at and stuff. Try to keep a cool head because, like I said, you don't want to be that guy, that statistic, right, of that 18th person, right, that dies on this trail. There's no need for it. It's not worth it. It wasn't too hard for me, obviously, because I was probably overconfident. But I did see people struggle out there because of the height factor, I'm assuming. So keep that in mind when you go. Anyways, tips for photography people. All right. There's just 2 tips. As you're hiking up, always look behind you. Whenever you take a break, look around you. There's some beautiful views as you're hiking up. So photographers, keep your eyes peeled. Keep your head on swivel, especially when you get to the top. When you get to the end point, the Angel's Landing viewing area, there's 3 in particular. There's 3 beautiful views to get. There's the valley, obviously. Then you have the river bend, which is beautiful. And if you look behind you, you'll actually see the exact trail that you just hiked along the mountainside. So that's also a beautiful shot as well. The number 1 tip that I have for this whole hike, all right, if you don't take anything away from this except for this one thing, here is the most important thing to take away, guys, is to take the earliest shuttle, the earliest bus. I promise you that is not a bad decision. It will be your greatest decision when it comes to this hike specifically. Take that shuttle, stop at number 7, I believe, the Grotto. The first shuttle that goes, guys, just take it because you avoid the heat, which helps out a lot in the long run, and you avoid the crowds, which will help you out in that danger zone permit area, right? And that's my top tip, honestly. Everything else just kind of comes with it, but that has to be my number 1 tip. I don't know why I said it like that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully that was helpful. And I will see you guys next time. Don't like, don't subscribe, don't comment because I don't give a fuck. But I do. Please subscribe.